I'm excited to welcome to the stage Executive Vice President and Chief Technology Officer of Intuit, Alex Balazs.
Thank you, Stephen. Hello, everyone. I'm Alex Balazs, Intuit's Chief Technology Officer, and I'm here to tell you about the journey that we were on at Intuit. Intuit, for those of you who may not know, is a global financial technology platform serving over 100 million consumers, small businesses, mid-market, and accountants. And about 7 years ago, we declared a strategy to be an AI-driven expert platform. And ever since we made that declaration, we've invested in data and AI capabilities at Intuit. And the reason we did it is because we wanted to deliver what we call done-for-you experiences. So they're experiences where our customers don't have to do the work, we do the work for them. And of course, with the launch of ChatGPT, we knew that this would be an accelerant to this strategy. And so we share a similar mindset to Amazon in that we want to move fast, we want to have a bias towards learning, and we want to be extremely customer obsessed. And so our instinct was, let's take this technology and let's put it into the hands of our customers as quickly as we can. And so we delivered something we refer to as Intuit Assist. And Intuit Assist, in the simplest form, is basically a chatbot that was bolted onto the side of our products, and it allowed customers to interact in a natural language way. And for our TurboTax customers, our Credit Karma customers, and even our MailChimp customers, it was a fairly successful endeavor. Our QuickBooks customers did not like it at all. They did not show up to have a conversation with QuickBooks. They showed up because they have a business to run. They have problems to solve. And suddenly we had the flashing cursor problem. So what do I type? What do I ask? And even if I ask a question, is it going to be accurate? And so this open-ended interface, this open-ended, unprompted conversation actually led to lower trust. It actually led to more complexity, and it actually made it harder for our customers to work. And so since the company's founding, we've used what we call Follow Me Home. And Follow Me Home method basically is you go to your customers and you watch them work. You watch them interact with your products, and you do it in their environment. And that's how you truly figure out what the pain points are, because it's not like bringing them into a research lab. You actually go to them and see how they actually work. And one of the really interesting things that we saw in our small business customers is that very commonly they'd have two monitors. They'd have QuickBooks on one side, and they'd have something else on the other. That something else could be handwritten notes. It could be a spreadsheet. It could be some kind of data source. And they literally were transposing data from one side to the other. And we said, wow, they're basically copying the data back and forth or from one side to the other. And we realized that not only were we solving the wrong problem, we were thinking way too small. It wasn't enough to simply bolt AI, automation, natural language on top of our products. We had to reimagine the entire experience. And it also meant that we had to go all in. Because if we were truly going to revolutionize these experiences, change these experiences fundamentally, and make them be done for you, we couldn't toe dip. We couldn't kind of do it partially. We had to reimagine the entire experience end to end. And what started off as a way that we were going to change QuickBooks has really become the foundation for how we are leveraging and implementing AI across Intuit. So we moved towards creating self-contained, cross-functional teams with a single-threaded leader. And so instead of being focused on functions, they were focused on solving an entire end-to-end experience and solving it well. And so that shift actually got us to also question a lot of preconceived notions we had about how we build product at Intuit. So one of them was that AI could not just be for people with PhDs or people with specialized backgrounds. Everyone across the entire company had to be engaged with and use AI. Engineers, obviously, designers, product managers, everyone, it had to be a core part of their job. Another principle was everyone has to talk to the customer. It can't just be the research team. everyone had to be involved in the product development team, product development process, had to talk to the customer. We also had to transform the technology itself. So we dismantled a lot of the sequential processes that we had built up over 40 years. So we created this thing called GenOS, our generative AI operating system, and that's the thing that all of our products are built on, and it became foundational for everything that we do. But the historic approach of how you approach creating shared capability, platform capability, we kind of had to turn this on its head. And so what we did is we actually created something that we refer to as a harvesting model. So instead of product teams saying, hey, I need this kind of capability, build it for me, the product teams themselves, who now were AI savvy and they actually had to build this capability themselves, they innovated. They figured out what that next experience was. And then there was a team that basically went after them and harvested these great ideas and then integrated them into the platform and then basically made them available to everyone else. So it greatly reduced the cycle time of our innovation. And our reimagined approach to QuickBooks has really, it's shown unbelievable results. So you see some of the metrics here. So our small businesses on average get paid 5 days earlier, and they save 12 hours of work per month. Because once again, we've eliminated that end-to-end experience where they had to do the work manually before. And our engagement soared, so it went into the millions. 78% of customers saying that AI makes it easier to run their business, and 68% saying that allows them to spend more time growing their business and not just operating their books. And it's really important too that for us, the AI isn't replacing humans, it's actually augmenting the humans. So we have a combination of both AI agents and human agents working together in the product. And as you can see, overall, our scale of AI, our scale of data has continued to grow. Over 60 billion machine learning predictions per day, 625,000 attributes per business, and we hold over 1,000 patents. So this is the kind of evolution or innovation that this has driven. So to go back to the beginning of the story, sometimes you have an idea and you roll it out and it fails, and it failed because it was the wrong idea. Sometimes it was just not the right time. And so it's really important that if you have a great idea, you basically continue and you persist and you push forward, because we're just in the process of rolling out something we refer to as Intuit Intelligence, where we're taking the best of this end-to-end AI automation that I just talked about, and we're adding to it this new conversational interface, because now our customers are actually ready to have a conversation with the product. They want to talk about their data. They want to ask questions. And so if we hadn't taken this journey, we wouldn't have learned and we wouldn't have gotten to the point where we created these amazing end-to-end experiences. But now we're actually going back and augmenting it with this conversational interface as well. So our customers get the best of both worlds. So let me leave you with a couple of takeaways. So the first is you have to innovate with speed and get out in front of customers as fast as possible. And when I say get out in front of customers, we had to get really comfortable with testing at scale. So it used to be that we would test, we'd say, okay, let's roll this out to 10 customers. Let's roll this out to 1,000 customers. And now we actually have launch plans where we say, how quickly can we show this to 1 million customers? Because that's really when you get the actual feedback that you need. So second is you do have to bring your customers along. As I talked about before, many times there's great ideas, really good ideas, but your customers aren't actually ready for it. We actually had to work very closely with our customers to make sure they're actually ready for these innovations. And in some cases, our product actually has to, in the process of rolling out these features, rolling out these capabilities, we had to teach as we actually roll them out. And finally, maybe even the most important one is you have to cultivate AI fluent leadership. You absolutely have to have great AI savvy folks, great talent on the front lines across all these different functions that I just talked about. But really, to make it work, your entire leadership team has to be AI savvy. You have to do your job with AI. You have to make sure that they lead with AI. And if they themselves are not AI savvy, if they're not AI fluent, they can't lead an AI workforce. So thank you. That's our story at Intuit. With that, I'll turn it back to Stephen.